Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. Today is July 27th. We are continuing our preseason coverage of college football. Topic of today is the SEC.
Yes.
All 14 teams, one video. Let's go, Mike Brenner, the
Wow.
SEC.
I love it.
Let's see which teams might have some value on. I'll tell you the first one.
Do you feel they're the best, strongest conference in all of football?
Yes.
At least within the top two or three.
This year, the obvious answer is yes. This year I haven't matched them up team for team.
You haven't had
there
time,
are definitely some teams that are rebuilding though.
Yes, there are, and not just rebuilding that way, rebuilding with coaches, new coaches
with
as
everything,
well.
especially in the SEC East. So the first team that's kind of caught my eye, actually, as maybe undervalued, although might be Vanderbilt. They're a terrible team.
They could
so
be.
We don't know, but they have
They can't get any worse.
They beat Florida last year, and they're looking like they're going to be better in all areas this year than they have been in recent years.
I think they're going to get 2 to 3 more team total wins than people say.
The quarterback's going to be better, more experienced. The offensive line less sucky, a bit more playmakers on offense. Their defense last year was good. This year it's probably going to be better. Might even be borderline great. So I'm thinking that Vanderbilt might be an undervalued team. Let's just start with that.
Beating them Commodores, baby.
With Alabama, any reason to think they're not? They're absolutely loaded. Anything to say about Alabama?
You don't even need to waste time on that one.
Right. Their team total surprisingly low at 9.5, minus 145. Yeah. Let's see. What else do you have to say?
I think Georgia's the team that in the first half of the season, you got to fade this team, all right? Kirby Smart, absolutely. He's a brilliant guy, but he's taken over a mess. He's not walking in with a broom and a mop and everything else. He's walking in with a dumpster with that mess, for real. But the second half, this could be a team you might be able to back, because I think the lines are going to adjust real quick to say, hey, wait a minute, we have overvalued Georgia. That's my call on that one, Pistol Pete.
That's a very astute, and I think I agree with it completely, because they added this guy Sam Pittman, the offensive line coach, and that guy can get results. He's more likely to be getting results with a few games under his belt than starting off for
absolutely.
Right.
Look for them.
They're rebuilding the front seven. The offensive line has a lot of guys. The quarterback has to be settled. Even Nick Chubb, is he going to be 100%? So that's a great analysis. I think we look to fade Georgia first off in the beginning, and then take them week by week and look to maybe bet on them later, because they definitely have a talented roster.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see. Anything else?
How about South Carolina? There's another rebuilding team.
Oh my God! Not only is it rebuilding, but you got Will Muschamp is the coach, and this is a guy great reputation, but hasn't gotten results. In Florida,
how did he get this offer? I'm wondering how he got. Who was the genius that said, "Hell, I love what he did at Florida. Let's hire him."
Yeah,
for real, nice guy.
And then he went to Auburn as the defensive coordinator. Complete dud there.
Dud. Again, hey, let's hire him, right?
But here's my thought. Here's my thought, though. You do see this sometimes in sports everywhere. You have guys like Muschamp, or even players or whatever. When the expectations are high, they flop. And then when expectations are low,
they shine.
Right. Yeah. Or not necessarily shine, but outperform expectations.
No, you're right.
So maybe that happens here with South Carolina, because expectations can't really be much lower, can they?
No, they can't. And it's going to take some time. But I am definitely looking for them to be overvalued against these real small schools that they're going to face, with like 30-point spreads. Trust me on that. South Carolina's a team in the making to be rebuilt. So I'm going to be fading them.
He has recruited some nice talent on defense.
No, there's no doubt. No doubt.
All I'm just thinking is that whenever a team comes in with such low expectations like South Carolina, that's when I'm looking to maybe think that
Pistol Pete, I love a team in the SEC this year to be strong, and I'm going to back it. That's Tennessee. I'm telling you, Coach Davis has these boys ready to play. They're stacked, and they're quietly going to beat some of these upper echelon teams that I think are going to be overlooked a bit. So there's I love that.
Bob Shoop, great addition, defense coordinator. The big question here: the downfield passing game.
Yes.
They're not going to hang with LSU and Alabama if they don't have a downfield passing game. You think they'll fix that?
I do, and I think that might take some time. But I think early on, because of their schedule, I think that's a team that's going to be cashing tickets, baby.
All right.
Look out.
Speaking for LSU, this is an interesting.
Get it out, Pistol Pete.
Roster loaded with talent, but as always, questions at quarterback in the passing game should be better, right? They got, with Fournette and those receivers, the passing game should be much better.
They have the most returning starters in the SEC, 19 of them. Pistol Pete, but LSU with Les Miles, he's the factor.
Yeah.
He's the factor that I think this team, who absolutely on paper should, if not beat Alabama, they should win the national championship this year. But guess what? I think you're going to see a major letdown. You're going to probably see 3 losses from that team that are all coaching related, because Les Miles got lucky last year when the players went to bat for him and said, please don't fire him.
The roster is loaded with talent, and they got Fournette and those receivers. Why is the passing game not better? They can't.
I just don't know.
They,
I don't
right.
know.
So you would in general be looking to fade LSU
On certain spots, especially against some of these high-quality teams, and also, but the defense is going to be solid. Fournette, if he stays healthy, anything's possible, and I will be using a lot of team totals with them.
In what way?
I'm going to be probably going first half overs. Fournette's going to want that ball early. They're going to want to establish that running game early, okay, because that's what's going to open up this so-called long field passing game that they need to compete. But I think Fournette sees that Heisman Trophy, and he's going to want to prove it early. So I'm looking for them to cover some first half totals by scoring a lot of points on the ground game, Pistol Pete.
All right, and then let's see. Is there any other teams? I mean, I could talk about every team here. An interesting one. An interesting one, I guess, is Florida. Right. Once again, the defense is loaded. Great talented secondary, young guys coming in. The question is just on offense. They're breaking in a new quarterback.
Yeah, I think they were a little overvalued. They got exposed last year after that fast start, Pete, and that really was who they were. And I think I'm going to be fading Florida, but second half, because it's a growing team, second half of the season, look out. I think they'll start locking in.
Right, you might be right. I mean, the offensive line last year was a huge weakness.
Big time.
Young and couldn't weather injuries.
It
should be better this year because it can't get any worse. One of those situations.
Right. Exactly.
It'll definitely be better this year because it can't get any worse.
And they got a stout schedule. So, but second half, I think they're going to do some growing up, and that means cashing tickets.
Right, and one other team that's interesting, Texas A&M. You can talk about them, Mike Brenner. An interesting team. Normally, we think.
Well, they got a new quarterback coach.
Yes, and normally
did you see who they hired yesterday?
Who?
Quarterback coach, Johnny Manziel. I'm kidding. I had to throw you for a loop, and I did.
No.
Damn it, I love
what
it.
I was going to say was that we think of Texas A&M as a team that's just explosive on offense, horrible on defense, but the defense has really been improving under John Chavis, and it's probably going to be at least a little bit more, even more improved this year, maybe even significantly more. And as always, they got a great receiving core, multiple playmakers and receiver, but they're just an underachieving team, and it might just all have to do with Sumlin, right? The question is going to be any different this year.
And it's how much power someone's going to give to Chavis, because he was a great hire, Pete, and I on my notes I have second half for them. That defense is going to get stout, and if it does happen, that team's going to really be dangerous the following year. But
Texas
second half, absolutely.
In the second half of games or the season?
No, second half of the season, I'm looking to start backing them as that defense that Chavis is putting together starts to gel.
I mean, in recent years, they've been great in the first halves of seasons and then terrible in the second half.
But I'm thinking their defense is going to change.
Reverses?
I think it reverses this year, and it's got to, and hopefully someone's going to let them do it.
All right. I mean, it's a tricky team. I'm not sure. I only brought them up because they're interesting. I mean,
well, of course they're a tricky team. They had Johnny Manziel. Jesus.
It's just there's a strength with defense and Chavis, but I'm just wondering if just Sumlin is just a coach who you want to be fading in general.
Could be.
All right, let's see. Any other thoughts from the SEC in terms of a possible betting value or upcoming season?
Ah, buddy, I'm so ready. I can't stand it, Pistol Pete. I am ready to invest this football season.
All right. I guess let's wrap it up here. I'll definitely be looking to a bet on Tennessee, though not necessarily against the elite teams, but against everyone else.
Absolutely, and fade Georgia, fade them early. Trust me, they're going to be overvalued and jump all over their under in their team totals.
Always on the go? Bet365 has one of the top mobile platforms in today's market. Sign up today and don't let your busy life keep you out of the game.